express yourself, but also be willing to understand how the person you're speaking to is receiving that information and what they're doing
That
with
kind of
it.
antagonize your person, whether or not it's like your ability or your weakness in some type of
To
form.
protect the sheep,
You gotta catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. Alonzo, quote unquote. We gotta talk. It's an honor to the Most High. We are here, and we need to discuss a couple of things I think is very important that doesn't really get discussed too often. I wanted to have a more intimate setting with you guys on this particular subject as someone who has gone down this road before and has observed many times where people will often give way more than they should to an audience that they are really unfamiliar with. I'm talking about folks that give and talk way too much about things going on in their life in front of the enemy, the demonic spirits, the familiar spirits, the unseen principles of darkness that linger around us quite often with the purposes of destroying and hindering anything that we have going on that could catapult us into a season of love, wealth, and abundance. You do realize that everyone that is around you is not for you, right?
Well, then why can't I be the player or some shit like that?
Loved ones, family members, romantic partners, sisters, nephews, cousins, co-workers, everyone that you find yourself in an intimate setting with, even going as far as just talking to people on social media. Everyone is not for you, and you're not supposed to be giving out all of your emotions and feelings and plans to the entire world. For whatever reason, we've gotten so dependent on seeking validation for our accomplishments from people that we need to have someone pat us on the shoulder or confirm something in us that God has already given us. Not really understanding that a lot of these folks that we be around, yes, even the ones that you think could never do you any harm, have other agendas and other motives. I think it's time for people to really start using their brain and discerning in their spirit. Stop ignoring red flags and hold yourself accountable. Because whenever you're trying to move forward with a job or a dream or some type of goal where boundaries are necessary, you start to see things unravel. And then you're wondering why. Like if you tell someone your plans and then you start moving forward, things are starting to unpack and synchronize, but then out of nowhere you start seeing stumbling blocks and trials and difficulties being pushed in your way as you're climbing the ladder. you're wondering why this stuff is happening. It's because someone's around you. Something's around you. Because there's typically some contention with that particular person. You don't know how, you don't know why, you don't understand what it's about, where it's coming from, but it's usually a person around you that is saying something to you in a passive way that is subliminally demonic in its message to make you think negatively so that you question what you're doing
This nigga be thinking that type of shit is funny. You took the whole cake and mushed it in his face. Whole cake.
or deter you from where you're going. And it does something to your spirit. First, it's like a seed that's planted in your head, and then you end up allowing it to fester and grow into something. And then it starts to block and get into things that you're doing, like weeds. It starts choking the life out of stuff that you got. And you really don't understand where it's coming from. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us are walking around with different spirits in us, using us to accomplish certain objectives of the enemy to get you off of your square. But you think that you're venting to people, and you're really, what you're doing is you're opening the gateway for enemy number one or number two to carry out their mission. We got to be more aware of where we lay our head, who we talk to, who we can trust, who we can rely on, who is of biblical morals and standards with structure and a code of righteousness and the armor fully on them, covered mentally, emotionally. Y'all be giving out way too much of you to just anybody. And they always baffle me. I've always been to myself because I see how sneaky and how nefarious folks are, man, with your information, with what you share with them. They use it's just way too much. You really gotta be observant of the characteristics of humans, man. What are y'all really doing? Stop sharing everything that you got going on with people. It's okay to do it, but you have to know when and where and the timing of it.